What's happening, YouTubers? I hope you guys are well. We are in the second to last training weeks. No, I think I got 3 more weeks to go for Ironman Vitoria, Ironman Spain. My second Ironman Pro Series event. We're in my second day of my training cycle. So today we have 4 sessions actually. The first one will be right now. It's a 2.5 hour ride with 3 times 8 minutes, zone 3. Will be around something really controlled. I have to see a bit how legs feel. 330 to 340 watts, just a little bit of muscular stimulus, but not too much taxation on the body. Second session will be a swim with main set 20 times 100 meters, leaving on 130, aiming to hit the threshold pace, somewhere around 115 for long course meters. After that, straight to the gym, a little rest, and then in the evening, a 1 hour run with 4 times 2K, again zone 3, sub threshold for sure, high aerobic, but a little bit leg tone over change, no quicker than 340 minute per K pace, 4 times 2K, and that'll be it for today. So we got the bike set up for today's sessions. Something I will still change for Spain is I had, because of the 60 chainring in the front, but what that does, I have on my disc right now, I have like a 1036 cassette from SRAM, and that is good for hills and all that. But the problem is the gearing in between, the actually relevant gears for Ironman pace, there's like a huge jump. So the jump is actually in the sense that either I'm at 75 cadence at 300 watts or 85. So like you're really missing a massive cadence range, and that's just not okay. So I'll switch that to my old one, not old one, but the other one here, which is a, as you can see, 1028. So with those, you can check the gears for that. Of course, I will, the hills are anyway shorter, bumpy ones, but I calculated as well with the gearing will be fine for the uphills. Slowest I go there is 20 kilometers per hour in Spain, so that's really no issue there. But then I have a lot more gears in between for choosing the ranges, a lot more. So I look forward to changing that soon. Also got a new pair of running shoes. Ran them yesterday already, Invincible 3, had the model before. Yeah, still the best shoe from Nike, except for the Alpha and Vaporflies, the carbon shoes. For training, this is still the best one. Zoomfly is hard at the beginning and stays hard, so I'm not a fan of the new Zoomfly. I love the old one, but they did something that is just not good. Invincible good. They do have some heel slip issues, which can be solved though if you bind it over this edge here. So you have to bind the knot over this one here, so not below, then your heel will probably slip. You have to put it here, and then the shoe is actually perfect. So yeah, 2.5 hour ride. I got 1 bottle just with water. Here I got 90 grams in there, also there 90 grams. Yeah, just a bit how I feel. Some candy that I won from the race. I still got some of that from the box, so if I should feel like I need more energy, carbs only, I will stuff some of them in as well. Since yesterday was also a pretty big day, I feel my legs a little bit worked. The first half an hour will be just really easy spinning to recover the legs, blood flow, and then a bit of aerobic riding, but again, keep that controlled. So not always doing 260 watts now. You have to kind of calibrate a bit, because you can, in a training week, you can play with those levers, with volume and intensity, and you have to always shift those up and down a little bit. For example, today the main thing is that I get a bit of a muscular stimulus out of this ride with a 3 times 8 minutes. Around that you have to shift a little bit down. If you do down everything, then the aerobic pace is 260 to 80 watts around that. For sure you can do that, but down the line, just down this week, energy wise and everything, you will pay for that probably. So being smart, small choices, and getting good stimuli out of it. Metabolically, I still get a really good training session, heart rate wise anyways. So gonna be good. So we are 20 minutes in, just easy spinning, flushing the legs out. Some things what I also mentioned with the cassette, it's really interesting. You can use websites like Best Bike Split to kind of calculate how is it going to be with the gearing. So for example, here Ironman Vitoria has mainly 3 smaller bumps. I mean the significant ones. One is at 64K, that's a 3-minute climb, 1.3 in distance, so around 340 watts. Not crazy gradients, average 3%. Then another one, 136K in, that's a 400 meter climb, and 154K in, there's a 300 meter climb with steeper. So
those are the only ones basically. So with that you can check, and there are also apps to calculate your gear ratio and those things, but that's a bit for the nerds. The nerds probably not anyways, but otherwise you can let me know in the comments if you want to know more. So when it came to intervals, I also had a lot of learnings actually. For example, threshold intervals or things like that, where you actually don't want to produce high lactate per se. You want to be under that lactate threshold, that second lactate threshold, so that you do the first interval, no matter what you have, 4 times 5 minutes or whatever you got, that you do the first one a bit controlled. So at least 10 watts lower than what you had set in your system, maybe even 20, because if you don't do that, because you have some fatigue in the legs, I feel like the body often needs like to open up the legs, I don't know, capillaries and neuromuscular activation as well, because as you know, if you do intervals, mostly the first one is the worst, oftentimes. So the legs are not fully there yet, you could call it not warmed up yet fully, whatever the exact mechanisms are physiology wise. If you do the first one a little bit controlled, just a little bit, 10, 20 watts less, to really allow the body, you know, you don't want to spike the lactate, unless you of course you do crazy VO2 max intervals, anything like that, where the goal is to spike lactate. But I went down that path and I'm not going to be doing that again, so that doesn't work for me. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing the same, so 3 times 8 minutes with just 2 minutes rest on purpose. So again, heart rate wise, it shouldn't be super taxing anyways, but it should be mainly a muscular stimulus. So that's why the rest is a bit shorter, and then it's basically 30 minutes of load. Nice muscular stimulus, definitely not over threshold, because again, if you have those levers that you use, and if volume is high, which right now is the case for Ironman, and in general you need high volume if you want to compete over 8 hours, then intensity has to be lower and controlled especially, right? So those are the things. I mean, some people put threshold in, but if you want to do threshold really accurately, I mean, you can be a bit over threshold, under, the body will kind of learn to clear it. I think it's a bit, you don't always have to be exactly under over. It's a bit over under, even the Norwegians who are crazy about it with the lactate strips, they even say that. So, but again, that's something I don't do. You can also just save some time. What I believe and what I do now is actually zone 3, more threshold in the swim, of course, is more relevant than needed. On the bike, not so much, because I rather do longer intervals at zone 3 as a muscular stimulus than do threshold intervals like that. So again, I'm competing over 4 hours or 2 hours on the bike, but mainly 4 hours-ish. So relevance to what I'm training. So a bit more easy, and I check in after my first interval. 330 watts, no higher for sure, and then see how I go. Maximum 340, but again, for sure my threshold is 370, maybe higher right now. I haven't measured exactly, doesn't matter right now either, but I know my Ironman watts, I know my paces, and I know, again, body feeling is always number one. Check in a bit. So I just realized that actually I just have 2 minutes rest in between, so I'm a bit tricky to film and like play around with the microphone back and forth. So I'll finish my hour easy, then I'll do the 3 times 8 minutes with 2 minutes easy in between, and then I'll check back in and let you know how it went. So in a bit. We did it, 3 times 8 minutes, as expected, as I said before. I did the motor 330, that was enough, it's good. The first interval, my hamstrings, both of them, were a bit muscular tired. Heart rate, no issue, so a bit over LT1. LT1 heart rate is 144, the highest for me, measured in the lab, and then the last one was with humidity. I got up to 155 heart rate, but felt really good, definitely way sub threshold. And a good muscular stimulus, 2 minute rest, also really nice. First time I'm doing a set like this, so really good. And one thing I also want to say for everybody doing Ironman out there, because there's some calculations you can kind of calculate your Ironman watts, right? So based on your threshold. So the elite athletes, they do up to 79 or 80% of your threshold at Ironman watts, and with a low variability index, so like not too many fluctuations, it's kind of a sign, if you're trained, that you're gonna have a good run off with nutrition, salt, hydration, everything. But a lot of people can't do that, so it doesn't matter where your threshold is, if you're elite or not, but it requires really specific training to be able to do that. So it's just an aerobic ride basically, but let's say your threshold is 250 watts. The lower end kind of what you should be able to do is 75%, so that'll be 187 watts. And if your higher end would be 80%, would be 200 watts of 250 threshold. So you can do that for an hour or two. The thing is in aero position, right? It does not matter what you can do upright in road cycling or even like this on a tri bike. It does not matter. It's not the same, not even remotely the same. So you can do half an hour maybe in the beginning, but you gotta train that stuff. So classic sets like 4 times 30 minutes with 5 or 10 minutes rest in between at that Ironman watts in aero position, all of them with race nutrition. They'll give you a good indication. Not what the heart and lungs. The heart and lungs metabolically you can do it, but can your legs do it? And they need to be trained, and that you need to do over several weeks. So all the athletes that I coach, a small amount, still 1 or 2 spots left, but not much more. I really want to keep high focus, high quality. All the athletes that I coach, they have to go through that. It's just an aerobic workout, but it's muscular and mentally challenging. When it comes to mentally as well, it's something I work on every single morning and once a week with a specialist as well. Kind of keep growing and keep working on that, because elite sports, I don't know how much percent, 50% is mental. So once I'm physically at that level, I have to be always mentally ahead of where I'm physically. So can never allow anything like doubts, fears, anything like that. So there are really a lot of tricks that I use and will use. I used in my last race, and I will use in Ironman as well. Yeah, so but one really good trick is, for example, when your mind goes a bit in panic mode, for example when you're in sauna doing heat prep, or when you're having long intervals, hard work, and your mind kind of wants to, like, this doubt starts creeping in, like, I can't do this, it's too hard. That's kind of where you have to react, right? You can't allow that to swirl around in your head, so you gotta regain control. And one really good and simple trick is breathing. So long exhales, kind of like the yoga style. Long exhales, even in training on the bike, I just did it as well. First the heart rate gets down, which is of course less taxation for the body, for the heart. And when you do long exhales, you're telling your nervous system that everything is alright, so that you chose this type of discomfort. There is no reason to panic. I do this all day. So this kind of stuff, those signs you give your body. So try long exhales when you're challenging, really focus on your breath. That's a secret weapon, because times will pass, and before you know it, you're feeling good again. So first interval was challenging, the other 2 got a lot better and felt really good. And again, specific strength in time trial position, what I wanted. So now just easy for the rest, and then some food.
Alright, so we are done here. Did the session, 2.5 hours, uploaded already. Candy was good, but now it's time to eat. My recovery boots are already waiting. Always have food here, combine it. So 30 minutes in the boots, and then afterwards a nap. What I will have for lunch here is pasta. The Finns will know, kaura pasta. I try to avoid the white pasta. I feel like for the gut with all the gluten, I'm not gluten sensitive, but I don't know, I just feel this is better. Or the full oat one, better energy, easier to digest. But yeah, whatever fits for you. So pasta. Then for lunch as well, always some protein with it, of course. So I'll be having some either mincemeat or chicken. No veggies right now, because in 2 hours I'll be training again. So the veggies and all the greens go in the evening, together with some calorie injections in the night, because I train quite a bit, so calories and sleep. Also for you guys out there that training for Ironman. So what I notice, what some of the athletes also happens is mind-wise, in the last 6 to 8 weeks, at least 6 weeks before, let's say a full Ironman event, or even a half, I think you have to start to prioritize a bit, because before that, of course, you do it for your hobby. It's not full-time or anything like that, obviously, but like you have to make decisions at that point a little bit, because you're demanding probably in the weekends quite a lot from your body. You're probably training 4 or 5 hours on each days or something like that, at least 3, plus work, plus family, kids. You're demanding a lot from your body, so you really got to double down on sleep. You can't just say, hey, let's go out for drinks. Your colleague who does nothing, maybe 1 hour exercise a week, and I don't know, you can't just say yes to all those things in those 6 weeks, because you've been training through all the winter, you have been disciplined and sacrificing a lot, money and time, probably your coach and your bike and all those things. So really make sure now, if you have Ironman coming up the last 6 weeks or something, stay focused on those things, the basics, sleep a lot, eat a lot when you're hungry, eat more when you're hungry, don't go to bed hungry, worst idea ever, always get up and eat more, and try to sleep more. Very simple, the simplest thing. Naps, of course, but just cut that Netflix in the evening, just instead of sleeping 8 or 7 hours, sleep 9 hours, sleep once a week 10 hours, just sleep in the weekend, both days if you can. That will make all the difference how you're gonna feel through the whole week, because most likely all your colleagues, all your friends, they're not demanding so much but exercise as you do, because when you do train for Ironman, you train at least 10 hours a week, and that's a lot when you think about it. So respect your body and give back. So I'll be eating now and then nap, and then check back in. Excuse the plug, but I have to tell you about the new membership area that I made for the channel as well. That's something that really helps me to finance my dreams and this journey as well. YouTube is one of the revenue things that I use, so I made a new membership area. That's for all of you who want to support it. You can do something like $4.99, $9.99 or $29.99 a month. You can cancel anytime. There's a lot of membership perks, things like early access to videos with ad-free versions, so you don't get any commercials, anything like that, and lots of other perks. If you want to check that out, it really helps me. Feel free. If you can't or don't want to, that's totally fine as well. You can just help me by keep watching the videos. How to join and all the details and perks will be in the description below. Have a look. I'm heading to the pool now. My pool here around the corner is closed for 2 months, so I'm going to another one with a metro. It's really quick and easy still. Nice 50-meter pool still. There's so many of those in Finland here, it's amazing. So that, and then to gym afterwards, because we'll be back here. Just 30 minutes, kind of the same routine as we did. Small changes that I noticed that I need to integrate. Really small stuff, but otherwise load the same. And then later the nice run in the evening on the track. So here you get my swim session that I have now. So some warm-ups, some drills, a bit of activation, and then mainly the 20 times 100 on threshold. And after that some 400s with pedals just to fatigue the arms. So. It was a good swim. Always takes forever those long swims against 6K, especially mentally. It's just you have to focus and start counting and stuff, break it in small bricks. It still takes a long time, but it was good. 20 times 100, getting so much more efficient at those paces, 115, 117, but like way lower heart rate and effort. I can just tell, really leveling up, making sure again that I'm not pushing too hard, because you have only so many things in a day to give. So this was really good. So now some food, the banana, and then straight to the gym. Each time when you're getting tired, like motivation dips and those kind of things, always also to self-motivate, look at things like, yeah, if you want to be world champ in the future, you have to put in world-class work as well, and it's all on you. Of course, it's easier with a team sometimes, but in the end, you're the one racing alone, so you gotta get the work in. At the gym now, won't be able to film much, but going through my routine like I did last week, just 30 minutes in and out, that's really important. And then we're done with this part, so some nice music, focus, and get some good quality movements in. Chat after. We got this session in, it was actually pretty good. Funny how sometimes you feel like when you train more, you have like low glycogen, you can feel it in the gym, especially a lot, like your carb stores are low, and then it's in the gym easily tells those things. But even after the swim, even a harder swim, they felt good, so good sign of recovery. So here we have my go-to stuff for back-to-back sessions. This is just water with oats, like the quick oats, but if you mix them enough, I never had gut issues. 1 banana and then protein powder, but not just whey protein, always double check with anti-doping, of course, especially for me, but for everybody basically. Gotta make sure. And this one also has, here you can see it has also some carbs in there, extra carbs and protein, so just any extra carbs I can get. And that I'll mix for a good while, and then I get that down. So I get this down now, and then about half an hour maximum, and then we head out to the run. Definitely getting a bit tired now, but that's expected. So except for the 4x2K, the run will be super easy as I want, just jogging. 4x2K, like a little bit quicker than the Ironman pace. Ironman pace, I hope to be running around the 4-minute mark, 4 minutes per K. Depending on heat, I go by heart rate as well with that. But so a bit quicker than that, but definitely not quicker than 3:40 pace. So you have the stimulation, of course, like from physiology, but also like mechanically, like running ergonomics is a big one, right? You don't need those sprints to get those. So with those longer reps, especially 4x2K, just clean running on the track. I would run those in carbon shoes if I had more. Even Alpha 5s would be best just for minimal impact. But now I'll just run them in the Invincible, and those have new and they're fresh. So get this down, and then we head out soon. Alrighty, just stuffed him some extra sugar for energy, some of the candy that I got, and yeah, all easy except the 4x2K. Maybe you got the camera woman coming by for some footage. Otherwise, I'll be back after with lots of food. I'm done, I did it. Big day in the bank. Again, super happy. I hit all the ones. When I was warming up, the legs were really tired, so I wasn't sure if I was gonna do like something like 4x1K, you know, just a leg turnover. But then I felt really good. So really nice leg turnover. That's the main thing kind of to focus on. For Ironman, running is really important that when you get tired, you can still keep the cadence going. Especially Hawaii, there'll be like, if you run well there, you need like 170, 175, more like 175 cadence with the rolling hills to do well there. But yeah, so happy with that. Now some muscle work, food is already making, some nice fresh salad, some veggies, and then the calorie police is coming. That's a big one today. Some Nutella stuff, a toast for extra carbs, and also calories. Nutella is high in fats and calories. And anything else, probably a bowl of muesli as well. So now comes the part, like a lot of eating. If I don't eat a lot, then tomorrow will be tricky. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this type of content, feel free to subscribe. I see you in the next video. Bye.